People, my friends, Tom MacDonald's Snowflakes. Ooh, the fire beat or something. Tom equals trash. This is a very high effort sign the prop department put in for. What was the budget of this music video? Anyway, 2 million views in like one day. Apparently it went big, you know? It went big. And as much as I'd love to watch it with you guys, I'll get copyright claimed if I watch it. So I don't want to do that. We can appreciate the imagery. You know, here we've got some kind of sex doll gimp suit. We've got Hassan Piker level body proportions to head size. I don't know if this is appropriate snowwear. Still not appropriate snowwear. It's still not. It's still not appropriate. Okay, there we go. But it's not snowing, and now we're wearing the coat. Okay. Really, that is a very large coat. That Tom equals trash sign just makes me so happy. If I ever do like a diss track rap music video, I want to have just people holding up like big paper rectangles. Vosh equals dumb, you know? And like the just a whole bunch of that. You called Blair White a sex doll? Wait, that was Blair White? Oh, I just said it because of the like the pert lips bulging out of the like the hole in the thing, like this, you know? Oh shit, that's actually Blair White. Oh shit. The turnaround. Well, hello, Blair. Oh, we've gone too sexist. Well, I mean, Blair White deliberately does the bimbo look thing, right? So isn't that a compliment? I don't know. Anyway. And then apparently the video was by a Rockefeller. Makes you curious. Anyway, let's find out what all the magic's about. Here we have the genius.com lyrics. We've even got explanations of the lyrics, okay? I'm not going to rap them, folks. I'm going to rap them a little bit. If you lie to the government, they'll put you in prison. But when they lie to all of us, it's called being a politician. You think taking guns away will save our kids from the killings, but you're pro-choice. Abortion kills way more children. Okay. If America's so terrible and racist, it probably isn't safe to encourage immigration. Just saying. What? All the contradictions are embarrassing. We got to do the whole, what's it called? A stanza? And then we got to do it. Okay, hold on. All the contradictions are embarrassing. You know who hates America the most? Americans. Trigger warnings used to be on TV for seizures, and now they're everywhere to protect millennials' feelings. He, she, him, his, hers, they, them. They. Screw a pronoun because everyone's a retard these days. I hear him preaching at the protest that hatred's a problem, but hating straight men, white folks, and Christian is common. CocaCola telling I feel like I'm actually close to how he raps it in the song. CocaCola telling people they should be less white. They preach intolerance, but if you disagree, they fight. There's a race war here, elections based on fear. Black lives only matter once every 4 years. Soldiers die for this country, and every one of us benefits. Give welfare to the bums and forget about the veterans. Black folks and white folks divided by the news, but we're all the same. We're red, white, and blue. Ashamed to be American? Okay, that's cool. Because honestly, we're all ashamed of you too. Okay. I feel like I delivered that about as well as he probably did in the video, which I haven't seen. He's not even American. Yeah, he's a Canadian. Why are there so many cringe Canadians mussing around in our politics? Okay. Let's analyze this content, okay? It's time for Anthony Fantano time. We're getting in, we're diving deep, okay? So, I've noticed this with Tom MacDonald, okay? What Tom MacDonald will do, there are a couple of strategies that he'll engage in, and you can see these done to a T here. I mean, pretty much perfect. First of all, Tom MacDonald will spout every conservative talking point, but then appeal disingenuously to this, like, come on, man, let's drop the fight, we're all Americans here. You know, like, come on, man, you know, the media, the politicians are trying to screw us over. We need to work together. But then he'll also express, like, every far-right talking point that's meant to denounce the other side. So it's a way of appealing to, like, reaching across the aisle, but he's really not. And the other thing he likes to do is he likes to wildly overstate the existence of social problems um, as a kind of snowflakey victim culture thing. Funny, that's the name of the song, actually. He's kind of a snowflake. I don't know if that's intentional or whatever, but he overstates like everything that he could use as an example of victimization being driven against him, you know? And basically the narrative is like he's like this oppressed guy who's being beaten up on by the system, beaten up on by the far left, but he's reaching out to you and you just got to take his hand, man. So anyway, that's like, those are the patterns that we're going to see, and let's see how that goes. If you lie to the government, they'll put you in prison, but when they lie to all of us, it's called being a politician. Yeah, okay. Yeah, yeah. You think taking guns away will save our kids from the killings, but you're pro-choice. Abortion kills way more children. So, I mean, this is just like a standard pro-choice line. Keep in mind, by the way, that he's talking about like freedom from government tyranny in the first pair, but then in the second pair, he's saying that, essentially implying that the government should restrict women from being able to exercise their bodily autonomy and be pro-choice. So, you know, anti-government tyranny, but we'll have like detectives arrive at your house if you have suspicious miscarriages, and we will also arrest doctors who perform abortions, you know. If America is so terrible and racist, it probably isn't safe to encourage immigration, just saying. This is a non sequitur. It does not necessarily follow. America can be terrible and racist in some ways, but it can still be preferable for people who want to immigrate. So, for example, it's true that America has a lot of problems. However, there are also a lot of benefits. And I think that there are a lot of people from Mexico who might find that as terrible as America is, it's actually kind of worse over there. So, the argument essentially here, there are two of them. One is anti-immigration, which I reject. Immigration's cool. And the second one is, because other countries have worse issues, we shouldn't fix what's going on in America, which is obviously stupid. America could be the best country on earth. It's not, but it could be. And even if it was, we should still work tirelessly to improve it day after day. All the contradictions are embarrassing. Agreed. You know who hates America the most? Americans. Don't like Iranians? Trigger warnings used to be on TV for seizures. Now they're everywhere to protect millennials' feelings. This is actually incorrect. As somebody who consumes modern media, no, trigger warnings aren't everywhere. If by everywhere you mean they're on Twitter posts made by 14-year-olds talking about like spoilers from their latest TV show episode, sure. But in terms of the actual media that's coming out, not really. What you see more often is content warnings for like flashing lights and seizures. Basically the same thing he's saying used to be okay. So that's still a thing. Also, millennials are now 40 years old. Do you mean like Zoomers? He, she, him, his, hers, them, they. These aren't even neo-pronouns. These are existing pronouns. Screw a pronoun because everyone's a retard these days. Based line, no complaints with it. I hear him preaching at the protest that hatred's a problem, but hating straight men, white folks, and Christians is common. So this, to me, this is the snowflake-like BS that Tom MacDonald is trying to sell. You know, the left, they say hatred is bad, but they hate straight white Christian men. Come on. There are people on the left who are straight white Christian men, okay? The idea that straight white Christian men are being attacked all over the place is complete fabrication. Conservatives love to play up this victim culture nonsense. Like, everyone hates us, this straight women. No, they don't. You're still disproportionately represented in basically every single, like, position of power. And culturally, you're still broadly appealed to. Like, so what Tom MacDonald is essentially saying is, lefties say hatred's a problem, but I see kids on Twitter making jokes about, like, Mayo-side. And, like, these are comparable in some ways. You'll notice that when Black Lives Matter's protests, they're not protesting about some nebulous, like, people being mean to black people. They protest, like, specific policies and institutional biases that hurt them. Coca-Cola telling people they should be less white. I knew conservatives would get hung up over this forever. I knew conservatives would get hung up over this absolutely forever. Okay? There's one PowerPoint slide given to a set of Coca-Cola employees which said that people should be less white in the sense they should engage in less whiteness. And I know that Robin DiAngelo is a hack who I despise. But that's not representative. Is Coca-Cola the left? They preaching tolerance, but if you disagree, they fight? I don't, what does this mean? This means nothing. imagine it's 1941 in America, and you're a congressperson arguing against fighting the Axis powers. You claim to believe in tolerance, but when Nazis disagree with you, you fight them. Hypocrisy much? Except you would say it in like a 1940s radio voice, right? You claim to preach tolerance, but if you disagree with the Nazis, I can't help but notice that you are still positively inclined towards violence against them. Or something like that, you know? Like, this is meaningless. There's a race war here, elections based on fear. There's no race war here. That might be the narrative you want, but there isn't. Black Lives Matter has white people protesting right alongside them. No disagreements, no problems. Elections are based on fear, though. Funny, by the way, you would say elections based on fear when Donald Trump, his entire campaign re-election strategy was terrifying his base in every possible way. That Black Lives Matter would burn down the suburbs, that the election was being stolen from him. Like, you have no pretense whatsoever upon which to say that elections are based on fear without calling out the fact that your president was the one doing it. Biden didn't do that. Biden's rhetorical strategy was mostly positive. We need to get together and work on this coronavirus problem. We need to get together and build America back. We need to work on infrastructure and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Biden actually did very little fear-mongering during the election. Trump did the fear-mongering. Black lives only matter once every 4 years. All political issues get drummed up more during the 4-year political cycle. That's just a fact. That's not black lives. That's everything. Abortion lives only matter once every 4 years. White lives only matter once every 4 years. Veterans only matter once. This is everything. Everything gets drummed up every 4 years. Soldiers died for this country, and every one of us benefits. Oh yeah. Even the Republican Party has abandoned the idea that the Iraq and Afghanistanian wars were good for us. Give welfare to the bums and forget about the veterans. Hey, my dude, a lot of those bums are veterans. And the people advocating for better veteran care are Democrats. Republicans always do this. They're like, you want to give money to the homeless? Why not give money to the veterans? And then you say, okay, let's give money to the veterans. And the Republicans tell you to go fuck yourself. Yeah, Trump cut the VA. This is like absolutely meaning. Like, again, Republicans do not actually care about soldiers or veterans. They want you to die quietly overseas so you can't live to come back here and protest for your rights. Black folks and white folks divided by the news, I guess. But we are all the same. We are red, white, and blue. You're Canadian. Ashamed to be American, that's cool, because honestly, we are all ashamed of you too. Okay, this is like bipartisan. This can apply to anything. The chorus. Y'all are so fake, oh no. The forecast said there'd be snowflakes, whoa. Is this real? I really hope he raps this in a way that makes these lines convincing. Can I try that again? Y'all are so fake, oh no. The forecast said there'd be snowflakes, whoa. No, snowflakes, whoa. There we go. I have to try to hit this. Y'all are so fake, oh no. The forecast said there'd be snowflakes, whoa. No, damn, I can't. I'm not a singer, fuck you. You can make us see it your way, no way. Your way, no way. Gasoline and propane, more flames, oh no. No more snowflakes. Wait, there's no way you can rap this to make it not sound like crap. I'm sorry. Wait, I'm running the parallel universe calculators in my head right now, and I cannot fathom a way that this sounds that good. Listen to it, Vosh. No, I can't. I'd have to listen to it with it muted, and I don't want to keep you guys waiting. Okay, hold on. Okay, we've got another verse to hit, okay? Maybe it's sung? I mean, maybe. I think the lyrics kind of suck. I think it sucks just a little bit. Okay, hold on. Now we're doing the whole verse, then we're breaking it down. They set us up to fail. That's what they built the system for. Put an ammunition shop across the street from a liquor store. Empowering women used to be different than this before. The role models got OnlyFans or dance on a stripper pole. Pull and before don't rhyme. Pull and store? Dude, you have to make it rhyme. These aren't even half rhymes or partial rhymes. These are completely not... Okay. Screw it. I ain't tripping. I don't mean to be me. But if our children are the future, then our future is bleak. He needs to hit us with the lyrical, spiritual individual. They're taking Adderall to focus, hit McDonald's to eat. They're addicted to phones. They take Xanax to sleep. Oh my God, boomer. They blur the lines dividing communism and democracy. In 2021, we painted patriots as Nazis. The men playing women's sports get trophies for winning. Like, great, let's celebrate a man for beating some women. If you're black, your life matters. You're supposed to embrace it. If you're rich or you're smart, then you're probably Asian? Okay, we'll break this down in a second. If you're gay, then you're brave. All of that I'm okay with. But if you're white, the stereotype is that you are a racist. Blaming capitalism like that's the reason things are tough. When you tweet from an iPhone and sip on a Starbucks, I can't. This is like every meme. This is every meme. iPhone vuvuzela. iPhone vuvuzela. iPhone 100 bajillion dead every second. This is the meme. You're supporting what you stand against. Don't think that you are, but you don't think that you are, but like the socialists haven't considered that they're giving Starbucks money when they buy Starbucks. Like Tom MacDonald could hit him in the street with that, walk up and be like, yo, when you buy Starbucks, that money goes to Starbucks, yo. And the lefty's like, oh, no way, that can't be true. That can't be true. A Percocet a dick, don't donate money to pharma. Damn, dog. We're all afraid to speak to the truth. The more afraid we get, the more we hate the ones who do. You're ashamed to be American. Okay, that's cool, because honestly, we're all ashamed of you too. And then and then we just have a bridge at the end. I think this is the last, like, real content here. Okay, let's do it. They set us up to fail. That's what they built the system for. Put an ammunition shop across the street from a liquor store. I'm not entirely sure. So this is one of those like right populist takes that I think deludes a lot of lefties. Because when you listen to this, it's like, oh, dude, based. You believe the free market is leading people towards adverse outcomes. When in reality, this doesn't actually mean anything. If I walked up to Tom MacDonald and asked him to explain this, he would drool on me. He has no like ideological synthesis from this. There's no broader policy prescriptions. There's absolutely nothing. He would just sort of like blubber a little bit and maybe like cough up a tooth onto the ground. This doesn't actually mean anything. It's just populist like virtue signaling. Empowering women used to be different than this before. The role models got OnlyFans or dance on a stripper pole. I don't really know what this is supposed to mean. Like, feminism used to empower women, but now there's OnlyFans? Sex work has existed for a long time. This is nothing new. Screw it, I ain't tripping. I don't mean to be mean. This is a filler line. But if our children are the future, then our future is bleak. They're taking Adderall to focus, hit McDonald's to eat. They're addicted to phones. They take Xanax to sleep. These are like decade-old boomer talking points. I feel like the easiest refutation of this is that isn't Tom MacDonald supposed to be like edgy? Look at this guy. This guy looks at you, looks right at you. Look at how edgy he is. He looks right at you, he opens his mouth, and then he repeats verbatim the contents of a like Saturday morning cartoon strip written by a person who's 80 years old, you know? Look at that. Like this guy's like, oh, he's got like the skeleton hoodie and like the dreads and shit, and he opens his mouth and he's like, does anyone else think kids on their iPhone too much these days? Like, like seriously. I mean, I could argue against this politically, but I don't like what even is this argument? Also, who are you meant to be criticizing here? You know? Yeah, wiggity wiggity, yo. Because the funny thing is that I could be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure that like Adderall addiction or like Adderall overprescription is most common in the wealthy suburbs that were most likely to vote for Trump. Is this meant to be like a denunciation of like left-leaning snowflakes? Because none of this has nothing to do with like the right or the left wing. This is just like boomer millennial bad talk. I'm pretty sure Tom MacDonald's a millennial, by the way. I'm not actually. Hold on. Tom MacDonald. How old is he? I need like the Wikipedia article, not the song. Thank you. Born 1988. Yeah, he's a millennial. Okay. He's only 6 years older than I am. He's 33 or 34 or something. I mean, in the ballpark. He's 32? Okay, in the ballpark. Yeah. Anyway, they blur the lines dividing communism and democracy. Again, this doesn't mean anything. When Republicans or conservatives say communism, that doesn't actually mean anything. It's just like a word they get scared at and pee their pants at. In 2021, we paint the patriots as Nazis. Well, a lot of those patriots actually are Nazis. So, I mean, look, I've seen a lot. I've talked to some people online here. They call themselves patriots, but they sure do believe a lot of the same things as Nazis. The men playing women's sports get trophies for winning. Like, great, let's celebrate a man for beating some women. I mean, this is standard, like, trans women playing in sports, blah, blah, dialogue. Again, funny, so there's some worldwide or, like, countrywide epidemic of trans women crushing athletic events, which isn't happening. Oh, yeah, do you think Blair White wrote this one? Yeah. By the way, I like how Blair White, a trans woman, appeared in a music video which doesn't say trans women playing women's sports. It says men playing women's sports. So, hold on. See this person right here? This is a man, according to Tom MacDonald. Sorry for appealing to intuition here, but like this, according to Tom MacDonald, according to the language expressed in the song right there, this right here is a man that we're looking at. And Blair agreed to appear. I think that Blair will just agree to be a part of any project where a white guy will tell her that she's not a real woman. That's my opinion. That's her pay fee. You know, you'd be, hey, I'll pay you $20,000 to appear in my music video. And Blair's like, no, I just want you to be transphobic at me. I think that explains, don't kink shame. I'm kink shaming a little bit here. Anyway. And then we got the big stanza here. If you're black, your life matters. True. You're supposed to embrace it. Yes, do embrace that your life matters. If you're rich or you're smart, then you're probably Asian. I genuinely don't know. Can I get Genius to explain this to me? This is Tom commenting on multiple stereotypes that black, Asian, LGBTQ, and white people face on a daily basis. So he's just talking about stereotypes? Hold on. If you're... Wait, first of all, how is it a stereotype to say Black Lives Matter? If you're black, your life matters, you're supposed to embrace it? Is that a stereotype about black people? Like you see a black guy down the street and you're like, oh man, that guy's life probably matters. What? And then with the Asian stereotype, wouldn't you say something like, if you're Asian, you're considered rich and smart? He's not calling out the stereotype. He's just doing the stereotype. Saying if you're rich or you're smart, you're probably Asian makes it sound like he's affirming the stereotype, not pointing it out for criticism. If you're gay, then you're brave. Is that the stereotype of gay people? That they're brave? We're not talking about stereotypes here. We have a line where we refer to the empowerment of black people. Empowerment is not a stereotype. Then we have a stereotype about Asian people, but instead of commenting on it, he just says it. And then we have empowerment for gay people. Again, not a stereotype, empowerment. And then when it comes to white people, he goes back to the stereotype marking. I don't necessarily know if there's any like broader analysis that I can do here. The only thing I really have to say is that Tom MacDonald is an atrocious songwriter. This is really, really, really bad lyrical construction. If the point here was that you're supposed to be running down stereotypes of like minorities and they're all positive, but then the stereotype for white people is negative, that they're racist, and you could make a point out of that, by the way, if you were to phrase it well, these lyrics don't do a good job of explaining that at all. Like they don't. Even slightly. It's just really, he's just kind of bad at his job, you know? But if you're white, the stereotype is that you're racist. I think that, well, it's true that a lot of white people just get written off as being racist. But I think that, like, for the most part, it's just Republicans get written off for being racist. Like, isn't that the broader stereotype? In my opinion, at least. I mean, I'm totally okay assuming that Republicans are racist because I believe it. When it comes to, like, white people, I mean, white people are more likely to be Republican, I guess, but I mean, I'll denounce it. If you think that all white people are racist or whatever, or like you're okay morally condemning all white people because they're white, because white people have a higher likelihood of being racist, I think that's bigoted and not cool. Now, it's okay to be bigoted against Republicans because you're not being bigoted against a racial group that people were born into. You're being bigoted against the definite and material choice that people made to be worse people. That's okay. Go for it. You can call them racist if you want. All right. And now we have iPhone Vuvuzela. Blaming capitalism like that's the reason things are tough. While you tweet from an iPhone and sip on a Starbucks, you're supporting what you stand against. You don't think you are, but the thing that really nails me about this line is that it's a rehearse of literally the oldest, most trite, most overdone, most stereotypical criticism of lefties. And then he ends it with, you don't think you are, but like he's hitting them with some kind of like unfathomable truth that they've never imagined before. Like he's hitting them with straight facts, you know, that they didn't consider. It's the arrogance that does it for me. You know what I mean? Like not like it, you know what I mean? Oh God. A Percocet addict don't donate money to pharma. I mean, if they're a Percocet addict, wouldn't they be buying stuff that would go to pharma? Addict, sorry, not addict. Addict. Wait, if you're an addict and you're buying it, wouldn't the money go to pharma? Right? I mean, they're not donating money, but buying a Starbucks coffee isn't donating money to Starbucks. You're buying it. No. Damn, dog. We're all afraid to speak the truth. Republicans are, because if they do, they get kicked out of their party. You see what happened with you see what happened with oh, what was her name? I'm blanking right now. Where they voted her off the committees. What was the Liz Cheney? Yeah. And the more afraid we get, the more we hate the ones who do. You're ashamed to be American. Okay, that's cool, because honestly, we're all ashamed of you too. Nice meme. Okay, and then we have the chorus again, which again I think is still pretty meaningless. It's funny this is called Snowflake, but it's literally just him complaining about stuff. Yeah, no, this is like, that's the, again, like, I don't know how self-referential this is meant to be. It really is just him complaining about stuff. And he's such a bad songwriter. And then the bridge. We could all get along, but there's no stopping A. Are we're really just going to rhyme it with A? Okay. And then I think he's going to do to like the appeal to the middle ground thing now, even though the classic strategy. Could you provide evidence that Trump wanted to cut the budget for the VA? Yeah, wait, hold on. President Trump's budget hurts veterans through extreme cuts to crucial programs. Oh, these are through cuts to the ACA and Medicare, SNAP, and other things. A lot of programs that veterans rely on. So I think maybe it wasn't that he cut VA, it's that he cut all of the stuff that veterans depend on, but then he like put up Veterans Affairs a little bit more. Yeah, I think he slightly increased VA funding, but then he cut all of the adjacent programs. So in practice, things got worse for veterans. Okay, I think that's a meaningful distinction, yeah. Budget plan calls for an increased VA funding. He cut programs that help people, like reintegrating job training and stuff. Yeah. Well, that's the virtue signal, right? Throw a couple of dollars to the actual Veterans Affairs program, but then cut all of the adjacent systems. So you still get to hurt veterans, but people don't call you out in it. Anyway, we could all get along, but there's no stopping. A, everybody's wrong. That's a real problem. A, stopping and problem. No, stopping and talking. Those don't rhyme either. Ugh. They don't want to hear, but they still talking. A, soon enough we're running out of options. A, this ain't gonna end till it's in the coffin. A, we ain't gonna be friends till we try to squash it. A, I don't know how we can make amends, so we drop it. Snowflakes melt when it's hot, kid. This is so bad. How do you make money doing this? I could write a better song than this. I don't know if I could sing it very well, but whew. Was there a single rhyme in there? Problem and options aren't a real rhyme. Stopping and talking aren't a real rhyme. Coffin and squash it? Seriously? Squash it and drop it aren't rhymes either. And hot kid also isn't a rhyme. Nothing in the bridge rhymes. He rhymed A with A. I guess that's why he had the A's in there. Did he? A, you know, bring it in. It's like my rap song where I just say a bunch of a sentence, but I end it with gabagooey. We could all get along, but there's no stopping. A gabagooey. Everything's wrong. That's a real problem. A gabagooey. They don't want to hear, but they still talking. A gabagooey. Soon enough, we're running out of options. A gabagooey, you know, and then, hey, everything rhymes. This is great. Okay, so anyway, yeah, a really bad song. Not, I mean, set aside the politics. Its construction is really bad. It fails embarrassingly at making the points that it attempts to make, and the political points that it attempts to make are also really, really, really bad. But this is the type of stuff that conservatives really need and really appeal to, you know? Quippy, zero thought, zero effort engagement that just reaffirms their biases and keeps them from thinking. Conservatives have trouble thinking. Pretty much every available piece of psychological and sociological evidence we have indicates that conservatism correlates with lower intelligence. That is true, by the way. We've done those studies on stream before. Not only lower intelligence, lower IQ, lower levels of education, lower levels of permissibility for change, higher degrees of fear, higher degrees of paranoia. It's like everything, you know, across the board. So they would like this. This is their jam, you know? This guy, he looks kind of like Vanilla Ice a little bit, doesn't he? You know? Right now, a little bit. Look at the comments. It's like Thomas Sowell became white and a hardcore rapper. It's about time. Thomas Sowell is the guy, by the way, who back during pre-civil rights America said that civil rights protesters who were black were like exaggerating problems that weren't real. Like he was literally a second-class citizen, and he looked at black civil rights protesters and he was like, oh, it's not a real thing. And he's pretty much been the same way ever since, which is the reason why no real economists actually take him seriously. And he's mostly popular in like YouTube debate circles. Very, very good. Also, Thomas Sowell becoming white? Curious. Anyway. Great lyrics as usual. How can y'all hate this man? Rappers rap about killing people all the time. You can't take rap seriously, bro. Yeah, most rappers don't try to make some sort of concerted political statement that then gets lauded by all the people on their side of the aisle. If like 10 XXX Tentacion wrote a rap and it was like the lefty rap and all the lefties came out and they were like, "You're a god, XXX Tentacion. This represents my political beliefs. You're based." Then I would also probably make fun of that. Probably also speak ill of that a little bit. Bosch, he's dead. I don't know many rappers, okay? Tom spits more truth in a few minutes than the mainstream media does over the course of a year. Yeah, it being a rap doesn't mean you get to say incorrect, stupid shit. And then people are like, true, king? Well, anyway. We took our fun. We pulled it apart. We missed Blair's comment. Uh-oh. Oh, whoops, that's not how you spell. Oh my god, Tom, thank you so much for putting me in this video where you said trans women are men. This is an honor and one of the coolest things I've ever done. Everything came out so amazing. And then Tom McDonald replied at some point, but I have to go down because the YouTube comment section, the way that works is complicated. Anyway, yeah, fun stuff, right? Really good stuff. Really glad conservatives are into that, you know? This is like the lyrical equivalent of like, you know, round peg, round hole. And I'm glad they're having fun with it.